We've all failed at something, an exam, a job interview, a relationship. But why do some people bounce back fast, while others stay stuck for months or years? The answer lies in something called a growth mindset. A growth mindset is not just positive thinking. It is a way of seeing the world, believing that every failure is not a dead end, but a chance to learn, improve, and rise higher. It is the quiet belief that mistakes are not final, they are simply feedback. When you build this way of thinking, every challenge becomes a stepping stone, not a weight pulling you down. Instead of feeling crushed by failure, you feel curious. What can I learn from this? How can I become better because of this? In today's video, we will explore what a growth mindset really is, why it is so important, and the common mistakes people make when they try to adopt this mindset but end up misunderstanding it. By the end, you will see how even failure can become your greatest tool for personal growth. 1. What is a growth mindset? A growth mindset means believing that no matter who you are or where you start, you can always learn and improve. It is the idea that skills, knowledge, and abilities are not fixed. They can change and grow with time, practice, and effort. People with a growth mindset do not see talent or intelligence as something we are simply born with. Instead, they believe these things can be built little by little like muscles. This way of thinking is very different from a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset makes people believe that their abilities are set forever. Someone with this belief might say, I can't draw, or I will never understand technology, and stop trying completely. They think effort is useless because their natural ability is all that matters. So when they fail or struggle, they give up quickly, thinking it's hopeless. But with a growth mindset, things are different. When people with this mindset make mistakes, they see it as part of the process. To them, every failure is simply a lesson to learn from, not a reason to stop. They are not afraid to try something new, even if they might fail at first, because they trust that they will get better over time. You can see a growth mindset in small, everyday moments. For example, when someone learns a new skill at work, even if they are not good at it, yet they stay patient and keep practicing. When they receive feedback, they do not feel hurt or embarrassed. Instead, they listen carefully and use it to improve. And if life forces them to start something over, they don't panic or feel ashamed. They accept it and begin again, knowing this is how progress happens. The good news is this: a growth mindset is not something you are born with or without. It is something you can practice and build day by day. Every time you choose to keep trying instead of giving up, you are strengthening this mindset. Every time you believe you can learn something new, even when it's hard, you are making your mindset stronger. This way of thinking changes the way you face life. It helps you stay curious, flexible, and open to new chances. People with a growth mindset are not afraid to be bad at something in the beginning, because they know improvement will come. And this quiet confidence makes a big difference in everything they do, from their work, to their relationships, to the way they handle problems. 2. Why is a growth mindset important? Having a growth mindset is not just a positive attitude. It is also a practical way to approach life's challenges. It means believing that abilities, skills, and knowledge can all be improved through effort and learning. This belief changes the way people respond to difficulties and setbacks. First, a growth mindset helps people overcome their fear of failure. Many people avoid new tasks or goals because they are afraid of making mistakes or looking foolish. They may think, if I fail, people will judge me, or maybe I'm not good enough. But with a growth mindset, failure is not a sign of weakness, but useful feedback. Every mistake provides information about what went wrong and how to improve. In this way, failure becomes part of the process, not the end of the road. Second, a growth mindset builds patience and perseverance. As adults, we face challenges like learning new job skills, changing long-standing habits, or starting new projects. These take time and progress can be slow. People with a fixed mindset may give up when results don't come quickly, thinking they lack talent or ability. But people with a growth mindset see effort as part of success. They know that real improvement requires practice and small, consistent steps. This keeps them motivated and willing to try again, even after failures. Third, a growth mindset creates a foundation for long-term growth. People who believe they can learn will naturally try more things, seek more knowledge, and gain more experience. They aren't limited by the idea of innate talent. Over time, they can become more proficient than those who rely on raw ability but don't practice or learn new things. This mindset allows people to adapt to change, accept new challenges, and stay relevant in work and life. Finally, a growth mindset changes the way we view failure. Without this mindset, failure feels like evidence of incompetence, as if it says something permanent about a person. But with a growth mindset, failure is simply information. It shows what needs to be improved, not what is impossible. This takes the fear and shame out of mistakes and opens the door to creativity, problem solving, and learning. In real life, this means that people with a growth mindset are more receptive to feedback. They're less defensive when someone offers advice or points out mistakes because they see these comments as helpful, not as personal attacks. This makes it easier for them to work with others, improve their skills, and continue to grow over time. In short, a growth mindset helps adults face challenges without fear, persevere when things get tough, and continue to learn throughout life. It's not about being perfect, it's about being willing to improve. This simple mental shift turns every challenge into an opportunity rather than a reason to give up. 3. Common mistakes that are confused with growth mindset. While the idea of a growth mindset has become popular in recent years, many people still misunderstand what it truly means. These misunderstandings can lead to frustration, wasted effort, and disappointment. As an adult woman who has learned from both success and failure, I have seen how some of these misconceptions create unnecessary pressure. Understanding what a growth mindset is just as important as understanding what it is. Let's explore the most common mistakes people make when they think they're applying a growth mindset, but are actually going in the wrong direction. Mistake 1, believing that endless effort is the key to success. One of the most common mistakes is thinking that if you simply work harder, longer, or with more determination, you will surely succeed. In reality, effort without direction is not true growth. Just doing the same thing repeatedly without stopping to reflect or change approach is not progress. It's simply tiring yourself out. For example, if you keep trying to learn a new skill in the same way, but you never pause to ask why it's not working, you may stay stuck. A real growth mindset includes the ability to step back, think critically, and adjust. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stop, rest, and rethink your method. Growth requires strategy, not just sweat. Having a growth mindset means believing that change is possible, but only if you're also willing to change your methods. Blind persistence is not a sign of strength. Wise adjustment is. Learning from mistakes is the real mark of someone who is growing, not someone who refuses to stop. Mistake 2, thinking you must always be positive and optimistic. Another misunderstanding is the belief that people with a growth mindset never feel discouraged, frustrated, or tired. This is simply not true. Even those who have strong growth mindsets face days of self-doubt, fear, and even sadness. Having these feelings does not mean you are weak. It means you're human. The difference is what happens after these feelings. People with a growth mindset allow themselves to feel tired or disappointed, but they do not stay there forever. They give themselves time to recover, then stand up, adjust their course, and move forward again. Growth does not mean pretending that everything is fine all the time. It means being honest about struggles while refusing to let struggles define the future. It is harmful to force yourself to be cheerful all the time, because this can hide real problems that need attention. True growth allows space for rest, reflection, and realistic thinking, not fake smiles or empty motivation. Real progress comes from dealing with difficulties honestly, not pretending they do not exist. Mistake 3, thinking you must do everything by yourself. Many people believe that having a growth mindset means handling every problem alone. They think asking for help shows weakness, or that learning from others is less valuable than figuring things out by themselves. This is a dangerous mistake. In reality, asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. It shows that you are open to learning, willing to receive feedback, and smart enough to save time and energy by using other people's experience. Growth-minded people know they cannot master everything alone. They read books, ask experts, attend classes, and listen to advice not because they are incapable, but because they want to improve faster. Trying to solve every problem by yourself can lead to frustration, slow progress, and even burnout. Growth requires connection with ideas, with mentors, and with other learners. No one climbs a mountain completely alone. In fact, those who grow the fastest are often those who ask the most questions. Mistake 4. Believing you must always be better than others. Finally, one of the biggest misunderstandings is the idea that a growth mindset means you should always try to be better than other people. Some people turn growth into competition, believing that success means being the smartest, fastest, or most skilled person in the room. This is not the true spirit of growth. A real growth mindset is not about beating others. It is about improving yourself. The main question is not, am I better than them? But, am I better than I was yesterday? Comparison to others can be harmful because everyone has a different path, different challenges, and different timing. Trying to win some invisible race against others can lead to jealousy, insecurity, and unhappiness. Instead, growth-minded people focus on personal progress. They celebrate small improvements, recognize their unique journey, and measure success by how much they have learned, not how many people they have beaten. This is the only way to grow in a healthy, sustainable way. Understanding these mistakes helps adults, especially women like me who often carry the weight of expectations, to apply the growth mindset in a real, gentle, and useful way. Growth is not about working endlessly, forcing fake smiles, doing everything alone, or winning every competition. It is about thoughtful effort, honest emotion, helpful connection, and personal progress. When we clear away these misunderstandings, the growth mindset becomes what it was meant to be, a tool to help us live, learn, and improve with patience, self-respect, and wisdom. Instead of exhausting ourselves or feeling guilty for being imperfect, we can build a path of steady, meaningful development. This is not only more effective, it is also kinder, healthier, and more satisfying in the long run. The real value of a growth mindset: personal reflection. Living in an ever-changing and demanding world, I've come to realize that one of the most important qualities I can develop is a growth mindset. This simple yet powerful way of thinking has shaped the way I view myself, my career, my failures, and my progress. It reminds me every day that no one is born perfect or fully skilled. Instead, successful people are those who never give up, never stop learning, and are open to change, no matter how difficult the journey. One of the biggest truths I've learned is this: no one is naturally good at everything. No one is born knowing how to lead, innovate, or solve complex problems perfectly. The people we often admire, whether they're writers, leaders, business owners, or creators, were not born with superpowers. What they have, and what we all can have, is persistence. The willingness to keep trying, to fall and get back up, to improve one small step at a time. That's the real advantage. This belief frees me from the comparison trap. I no longer look at others and think, they must have some secret talent that I don't have. Instead, I remind myself, maybe they just try longer than everyone else. That's what makes the difference, not innate talent, but determination and perseverance. But knowing this isn't enough. It also requires action. I want to share a small but life-changing habit that has helped me strengthen my own growth mindset. Every time I fail at something or things don't go as planned, I stop and ask myself two simple questions. What did I learn from this? What will I do differently next time? These two questions have saved me from sinking into negative thoughts and self-blame many times. When I make a mistake, I no longer see it as a sign that I'm incompetent or unlucky. Instead, I see it as information, a clue to what needs to change. Maybe I need to prepare more, or ask for advice, or try a new approach. Every failure teaches me something. If I can see that lesson clearly, then the failure becomes useful, even valuable. It pushes me forward instead of holding me back. For example, I once tried to start a new project at work and it completely failed. At first, I felt embarrassed and discouraged, wondering if I was good enough. But after sitting down and asking myself those two questions, what did I learn and what would I do differently? Realized that I hadn't asked for enough feedback in the first place. I assumed my first idea was good enough without asking anyone else. Next time, I made sure my colleagues got on board sooner and the results were much better. Failure itself is not the end. My attitude toward failure made all the difference. And this brings me to an important truth that I hope everyone can remember. Failure itself does not hold you back. It is how you view failure that does that. If you see failure as evidence that you are not good enough, you will stop trying. But if you see failure as a teacher, a tool, it becomes part of your growth. It becomes a step forward, not a step back. This is the message I want to send you. Your mindset, more than your mistakes, determines your future. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be successful all the time. You just need to ask yourself the right questions, learn the right lessons, and try again with new wisdom in hand. So today, I invite you to make this your habit. Whenever you feel like you've failed or been disappointed, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, what did I learn? What can I do differently next time? These simple questions can change everything. They can turn disappointment into progress, fear into courage, and confusion into clarity. Ultimately, it's not your failures that define you, it's your response to them. That's what a growth mindset is really about. It's the quiet strength to keep going, the gentle courage to correct your path, and the unwavering faith that every step, even the wrong ones, brings you closer to your goal. Remember, failure doesn't define you. Only how you choose to view failure can do that. Choose wisely. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.